Archaeologists in Israel have uncovered something that is absolutely breathtaking. Prepare to have the 2,000-year-old destruction of Jerusalem become incredibly tangible. But let's start with a quick clip from the Israel Antiquities Authority. Take a look.
We are at the Israel Antiquities Authority excavations beneath the Western Wall Plaza in cooperation with the Western Wall Heritage Foundation. This city is a holy city, an important city, a city of the temple. A Jew entering the city and a Jew living in the city had to be pure. Near the main roads, public buildings, and residential structures, many mikvehs were built. We are currently in one of the mikvehs uncovered in the excavations beneath the Western Wall Plaza. This mikveh, hewn into the rock during the Second Temple period, served the Jews who lived and acted in the area. Gradually, as we descended through the burnt layer, a wealth of material began to appear, bearing witness to the period.
I'm joined now by Israeli tour guide Yoav Rotem. Yoav, set the scene. What are we talking about?
Shalom, Raj. So, as people could see in the video, this is a mikveh, a ritual immersion pool that Jews have been using during the time when the Second Temple was in situ, was still standing in Jerusalem, before the year 70 AD when it was destroyed. It's about 200 feet from the western wall of the Temple Mount, something that was built by King Herod. We're talking about the biggest sacred platform in the Roman world that was built by Herod, and the temple was in the center of it. And right outside of it, we have a lot of items and things that connected to preparation of coming into the holiest site for the Jewish people. One of them is the ritual immersion pool, the mikveh. This mikveh was found with remains of destruction, burnt ashes of the year 70 inside of it, which means it was existing before that time, which means served the Jews who came to Jerusalem in the 1st century BC and the beginning of the 1st century AD.
So to me, what I find just so fascinating about this, Yoav, is, let me put it this way. I think biblical archaeology can seem so far removed, not just hundreds of years, but thousands of years. It's almost like you're listening to Lord of the Rings or something that's just unattainable. You can't touch it. But when you come to this mikveh, you actually have not just archaeology, not just stones, but biological tangibility of that moment. So what makes this mikveh so special? What do they find on it?
First of all, let's make it more connected to the people watching, I think. We're talking on a ritual immersion pool, a bath that was used to immerse the body from the time it was active during the time of Jesus. When Jesus goes into Jerusalem, this ritual immersion pool, this mikveh, is in action. It's happening. And what they found, as you said, life over there, they found different kind of tools and remains that everything was under destruction of the year 70. Actually, today is a fasting day in the Hebrew calendar, in the Jewish calendar of the beginning. There's few fasting days that commemorating the process of the destruction of Jerusalem, when the Roman army actually started to attack Jerusalem and put to siege Jerusalem and broke into the walls and broke into the temple, and eventually on Tisha B'Av in the summer, the Romans are burning the temple. So today was the first fasting. And this is unbelievable that they just they took it out. Again, it's a living memorial to the destruction of the Temple Mount, beginning of a big diaspora for the Jews. But there's something more over there, Raj. It's connected actually if people who watched our previous interview about another finding of a menorah on the southwestern, not far away from there, southwestern corner of the Temple Mount. I just been to this mikveh before they took it out, and I sent you a little video for that.
Speaking of which, before we go any farther, let's show the video that you sent me.
Okay, so what you see, or actually the location where we are, is underneath. If people ever visited the praying platform of the Western Wall, it's a small piece of the long 1600 feet of the western wall, retaining wall of the Temple Mount, where Jews are praying today. That's the closest place that they can pray, allowed to pray in the to the Temple Mount. Underneath the platform where everyone's standing, we have excavations today. And over there, for the past, I would say, over 10 years, archaeologists are finding remains, exciting remains. There, right next to this mikveh, we have remains of Jewish houses from the time of King Hezekiah, 8th century BC. We have there next to it a synagogue from later time, Muslim time, when the Islam took over 8th and 9th centuries AD. Next to it, we have even 12th, 13th centuries Jewish places of work and some items and things that were found showing maybe it's connected to Jews that are reported by some travelers from the 12th century that are coming, or 13th century, coming to Jerusalem. So and this mikveh from before even the year 70, what we're seeing over there, we're seeing a timeline of Jewish existence in Jerusalem. And Jews are always there. They're always attracted to there. There is a strong connection between these people and the city, especially the Temple Mount and the location of it. And every time there's a destruction, the Jews will come back and rebuild again. And we see it, the layers over there. I hope it's going to be open for public. It's kind of like you need to get the VIP tour now to see it. But it's just exciting. I had tears in my eyes when I saw the later Muslim synagogue, Jews that were in the city, and right underneath it, with the little mezuzah at the wall, right underneath it, we have the mikveh from Second Temple time, and this is just wow.
To me, it's just absolutely breathtaking to see the Jewish connection to Jerusalem. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of years, and there's this idea that somehow the Jews were kicked out in 70 AD and they just popped out of existence in 1948. And archaeology would say that's just not the case. And so you have these layers and layers and layers and layers of Jewish history in Judea. I don't know why that's controversial. But for this mikvah, what I've always thought was so cool, and there's a couple other places that you and I have been to together in Jerusalem where you can find this ash. And to me, what makes the ash so tangible is that, again, it's not like this like archaic black and white, unattainable, super long time ago, unrelatable history. When you feel the ash, you're literally feeling the biological remnant of the Roman destruction of Jerusalem. And so to me, when you touch, the ash on this mikvah or other places, you and I have been on the pilgrimage road where you can grab some of this ash, it shows you that it's not that far removed. And on top of that, how much the Jewish people have been at the center of every civilization, it seems like, trying to eradicate the Jewish people, the Romans, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, the Nazis. You go down the list, and yet all of those empires and all those civilizations don't exist anymore. And yet the Jewish people are back in Israel, back in Jerusalem, uncovering thousands of years of their history. I think we're living in really beautiful, incredible, prophetic times. And so that to me is why Israel is just so fascinating, because God made certain promises to the Jewish people that were beyond reason, that were impossible, and yet he's keeping those promises and he's keeping those covenants. But then also when you're talking about just the history of it all, there's been this, as you've pointed out so eloquently, this yearning for the Jewish people to go back to Jerusalem next year in Jerusalem. And so the idea that somehow the Jewish people are not indigenous to Judea is just unequivocally historical fallacy. It's just not even a debate. And so to me, this is just another layer in showing the truth of Jerusalem and Judea. But Yoav, I'll give you the last word, my friend.
First of all, I would say two things. First, come see it with your own eyes. It's exciting. We're seeing destruction, as you mentioned, the ashes, but the destruction symbolize life that were taken. But we're seeing, and I'm going to use the second thing, I'm going to use now your words that you taught me. We're seeing an Instagram moment, something that really there's no doubt about it. The destruction of the second temple combined with something that was alive, and this moment of destruction has been caught by ashes and been locked down there on top of the mikveh, and we are getting there into the ground and finding it. A moment in time that there's no doubt about it, and we can see it, and we can connect the dots into my story, the story of the city, the story of the people who always come back to the city and are now controlling the city and will stay there forever. So that's exciting. Come see it.